you are back on AmeriKwan show. AmeriKwan show is all about bridging the cultural differences between America and China, between American and Chinese. On our today's show, we're going to cover more questions related to perceptions over Asian Chinese women from AmeriKwan.
You say that so much now. It's
American
like a part of
men.
your vocabulary.
Yeah. So how you see those questions as American men, and I'm sure you heard a lot of from your friends. They talk about the Chinese women or Asian women. What do they say? What do you think
about relationships between American men and Asian women? I tell you what I've found mostly through the years, and I have dated Asian women in the past.
You have.
But I've also, between my own experiences and what I've learned from other people, is American men really admire the femininity, how feminine Asian women are. And that's one of the things that I think is very attractive, and I think a lot of American men, they like that. Asian women tend to be very feminine. They're your size, the fact that you're generally smaller women, your hands are small, your feet are small.
You're a smaller woman.
Not
so
like
cute.
A baby small, but you're very, very feminine. Asian women tend to be that way, and I think American men really admire that. Also, it's the differences, like you were talking about before. There is a big difference between the cultures of the two, and I think that there's a curiosity that American men have in trying to figure out a Chinese woman, and that the way that you were brought up and your thought process is so different than the way that we think here in the United States, that we are very curious about that, and that makes us want to learn more about you. And there's an exoticness about Asian women. Asian women are exotic to American men because of your accent, as you're trying to learn how to speak English, all of that. American men are very curious about learning more about you because of the differences. I think that was the biggest point that you brought up earlier. It's the differences, just like the same way with Asian women, where American men are so different than Chinese women. I mean, that's what makes people curious. Opposites attract.
Yeah, opposite attract. Also, the excitement. You never know what is the next thing she or he say, or how he reacts. So it's always full of surprises. I think it's like a spice. Put a spice into a relationship.
Yes.
That is a very important part. You do not want exactly the same thing, same method, like a routine, everybody fall asleep knowing what's going on exactly. So always some good surprises. And more importantly, through those surprises, we could learn from each other's different culture. And we learn not just languages. And we know how to explore new part of the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is excitement of the relationship.
There is, yes. There's the differences. There's an excitement of thinking about what it really is like to be in China. I've never been to China, but I could learn a lot about China just with our friendship that you and I have. I've learned a lot of things about China because of the time that you and I have spent together just as friends over this year doing the radio show, the TV show. You've taught me a lot of things about that country that I never would have known because I've never been there. And so I think the whole thing also translates over into relationships, is that people are curious about how things are in other places. And if you're that type of a person, of course, not everyone is curious, but people who are curious would definitely be attracted to having a relationship with a Chinese woman or an Asian woman.
Guy Darson, I think you sound like a pro in relationships. We should have a new business together. Do you think so?
I am far from a pro. I'm just sharing about experiences, but as far as being a pro in relationships, no, I am a pro in business.
In business,
Yeah.
you sound like you have all the good part being hiding in the closet. I do not know you have been dating Asian women in the past.
Yes. We haven't talked about my. Well, we don't. We're always so busy doing things, Kwan. We don't get a chance to talk.
Yeah,
about
we're busy doing business,
Yes.
like PR communication, classic communications. Yeah. So maybe you can help me with follow up some more questions from our audience.
Here's a great
Thank you
question.
so much, everyone.
It's from an unnamed source. What inner things do you mean? Sense of humor, etc. I think that person is asking about the attributes of that attract a Chinese woman to an American man.
Oh, that's a good question. I would think those good attributes work both ways. I would say if American woman or Chinese woman, we have a sense of humor, or have good sense of humor, and we have good personality. We have a beauty, like we share the love feelings. We have special connections with people. I think those good qualities working for American men too. So I think the good qualities as a person would work not just on American Asian relationships, also in general. That's what I try to say. Yes, to answer your question, Harold, good sense of humor, beautiful personality, shared love, feelings, love to connect with people, love animals. All these good quality, happy, positive. All these are good personality for American men, and in general for everyone.
Right. And I was just thinking while I was listening to you about what another thing that I admire about Asian women is that Asian women they're service oriented. They serve. And I think I love people who serve. And I think that is something that a lot of American men really admire about Asian women, is that your culture is more about, well, I don't know if it's more about serving than our culture in the United States, but it seems that Asian women are very interested in serving each other, serving people.
You are right in halfway. The reason I'm saying that it's not just Asian women. For myself, I can talk for Chinese woman. I think each country, like Philippines, Vietnam, those country or Indian people, we have differences between. But if I talk for Chinese people, in general, not just women like to serve. When men who in love, like to their loved ones, they love to bring everything or do everything for them. Let's say the father of children, of brothers in the families, they love to help each other no matter what. So as a husband or man in a family, usually they're the provider. In the history and also the past years, men are the main provider. So they maybe not to say serve, they just want to give. They providing everything to the families, children, a wife or girlfriends. So women have the same thing. It's a cultural thing. We love to give and help each others. So that's why we don't mind what we do. Maybe someone say, oh, I don't like a clean in the house, or I don't like a cook. So yes, Asian woman or Chinese woman, we do enjoy family things. Gathering, cooking, clean, everybody gets together just to feel the closeness as a whole, a unit. So if I answer your question right.
It is unbelievable, Kwan. You are such a popular person. Look at all the questions that we have. They just keep coming and coming. AmeriKwan!
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the question. We will cover more when we come back. Let's go to the commercial break.